Guys, how we doing today? We are going to be talking about ballast weight. You know, that stuff that keeps you from tipping over. You think you don't need it? Oh, you think you have enough? I got some stuff that might... Pardon me for just 1 second. Guys, how we doing today? We are talking about ballast weight. Are you serious? Again? I thought we just went through this. All right, off. Sorry about that. And through the course of doing research for this video, I've come to the realization myself that this is such a big safety concern that this is now going to become a requirement as part of a tractor purchase from GoodWorks Tractors. You need to have a plan for ballast weight. It's that important. So we're going to tell you what ballast weight is, we're going to tell you how much you need, we're going to tell you the types of ballast weight that you can get, the ways that you can accomplish that, and then also some misconceptions, concerns, perhaps surprises along the way too. So stick around. So Rosie and I would love it if you'd join the party, so hit that subscribe button below. Leave us a comment, let us know what you think about the video. Make sure you check out the other videos as well that we have. And as always, head on over to Facebook, click like, Instagram, click follow. All right, let's get into it. So looking it up online, ballast is simply a material that is going to provide balance or stability to a structure or a vehicle. So these are all related terms, and again, you're going to hear them from me, you're going to hear them in this video, on forums, from your other dealers, from your neighbor down the road. It doesn't really matter, but you're going to hear terms such as counterweight, minimum ballast weight, 3-point ballast weight, liquid ballast, all sorts of that kind of stuff. We'll talk about suitcase weights and wheel weights and all sorts of other good stuff here related to that counterweight. It's a big safety deal, and you want to make sure you understand it. So ballast weight is a really big deal. It's a big safety concern, and it's something that you definitely want to understand. It is not a difficult or hard to understand concept. It's very simple. You just want to make sure you have enough of it in the end. However, I don't want you to take my word for it. Always refer to your manual. Always refer to whatever came with your tractor here, okay? This is going to tell you exactly what you need. So I don't want you to take my word for it. I'm simply bringing the issue to light for you. Refer to your manual. That will give you the requirements for minimum ballast weights. So we're going to take a look at just two examples here today on a 1025R and on a 4066R. These happen to be my personal tractors here, and so I thought that would also give us a good look at an option in the subcompact world with the 120R loader, and then the top of the compact tractor world here with the 4R series, an H180 loader. Okay, so let's take a look at the John Deere 120R manual. So just type it into Google. Be the first link here that pops up. And then you'll see here we have the 220R, 120R loader operator's manual. Same thing as a hard copy. They do share a manual. And we need to scroll all the way down to the specifications section. 1E and 1R tractors. Opens that up in a new tab for you here. So you're going to see here minimum rear ballast right up near the top of the page. And you're going to have option 1 and option 2. And you'll see at the bottom of each section here, it's going to be 772 pounds of 3-point hitch ballast for either option. And then interchangeably, fluid-filled rear tires or 3 wheel weights on each wheel there. So this is about 270 pounds right here for the liquid ballast. That's what I did on mine. And if you wanted to add wheel weights, you're going to have about 300 pounds of weight there. So it's going to give you a ballpark of 1,050 to 1,100 pounds, again, of the minimum rear ballast weight requirement. Notice that there's no maximum listed here. An interesting note. Now let's do the same thing for the John Deere H180 loader. Again, first link right up top. And this is going to be for my 4066R tractor. And you can hyperlink to any section in the manual. It's a very convenient way to do it. A lot of information in here. But again, we're going to go to the specifications section, the non-self-leveling loader spec, and you'll see this applies to all the 4R series tractors. Right up top here, minimum rear ballast. There's just the one option they give you here. Liquid ballast in the rear tires, no wheel weights, and then you have your 3-point hitch ballast. So in mine, I have about 1,500 pounds of liquid ballast in the rear tires. Take a look at the 830 pounds here of hitch ballast as well, and you're at over 2,300 pounds. Pretty incredible. That is a lot of weight. Again, take note, this is the minimum. So this is the least amount that they tell you to put on there. You're plenty fine to put more than that. One of the biggest takeaways from the manual for me is something that's not even in there. It is what the maximum ballast weight requirement is. They do give a little bit of an inference there by saying do not exceed the recommended weight that's listed on your tractor tires. So that is one point there. And additionally, the 3-point hitch can only lift up so much weight, and you do have that hard line threshold there no matter what as well. From what I've seen on tractor tires though, typically that weight, that maximum load that can be put on the tires far exceeds what you could actually put on the 3-point hitch, in the tires, on the wheels, all that combination. The way I look at it though is that they're really not concerned with there being too much weight on the back end. So I wouldn't worry so much about damaging that transaxle, the back end of your tractor, the 3-point hitch, with too much weight. Otherwise, why wouldn't they list a maximum weight as well in the owner's manual? So to use ballast weight effectively, I think really you need to understand exactly how you're using that ballast weight in the first place. So think about a teeter-totter, for example, okay? You've got this pivot point in the middle here with a long board going across on top, and it's gonna go up and down depending on the weights that are on either side. We've all seen the big kid sitting on one side that's down on the ground, and the lightweight little kid that's up here in the top in the air, and nothing's happening. It's just stationary that way. Everything centers around this pivot point here. In this kind of example here, it's called a fulcrum. I think that's a technical term for it. So in the case of a tractor, if you're picking up something with the loader that's sticking out here way in front of the tractor, what point of the tractor is going to be that fulcrum or that axis point where everything is pivoting on? It's this front axle right here. Everything behind this point is on one side of the teeter-totter, and everything in front of it is on this side. And if that is completely out of balance with way too much weight up here and not enough back there, guess what? Everything behind there is going to want to tip up. So the big kid's going to be sitting down here and the light one up there. Having all 4 tires here on the ground gives you that stability. Having 2 tires on the ground here, not so much. So I suppose it is within the realm of possibility that you could actually tip backwards with too much weight as well, right? If you somehow had too much counterweight on your 3-point hitch, there's going to be a point at some time where I guess you could maybe tip up off the front wheels and just be rocking here on the backs. Although that's a pretty unlikely scenario to happen. So for practicality purposes, we're going to be talking about rear ballast weight in this video and not so much front ballast weight. So the position of your ballast weight is going to make a big difference as well. Let's say you had 500 pounds. And first we started out right here, right behind the front axle, our pivot point. Well, that's not going to be nearly as effective as if we move it back here to the rear axle. Let's say we load this up with liquid ballast, or we put some wheel weights on, for instance. That's going to be a lot better solution than having it way up there. However, that being said, you can get an even more effective solution if you move it back here to the 3-point hitch. So in that regard, it's a compounding effect, meaning if you have more weight closer to the axle, it's going to be equivalent to less weight that's further back here off the 3-point hitch. I want to take you through 6 different types of ballast weight to help you accomplish that goal of achieving your minimum ballast requirement. We're going to take a look at a lot of options here, including liquid ballast, ballast boxes, suitcase weights, wheel weights, other attachments for your 3-point hitch, and even Dooleys. More than likely, you're going to need a combination of 2 or more of these ballast weight options to achieve that minimum ballast weight requirement set forth in your owner's manual. Not every ballast weight option is created equal by a long shot, so there's a lot of pros and cons of each one. Cost is just one of those things, how you can handle it, what you can do with it, a lot of things to consider. I'll give you my take on it all. And for you new tractor owners out there, I want you to know that if you purchase it with Good Works Tractors, there's going to have to be a plan in place to accomplish that minimum ballast requirement for your tractor. And know that I will work with you to find a solution that is both economic and practical to achieve this goal. Here's the combination I have for ballast weight on my 4066R cab tractor. First, I have these tires loaded with ballast weight. Liquid ballast, TL90, weighs approximately 1,500 pounds. Coupled with that, I have a John Deere ballast box here that's loaded up with concrete, and there's actually room for 12 suitcase weights. These are 42-pound suitcase weights that I have here, 4 of them inside, 4 on either side hanging off. Plus, I do have an iMatch on here as well. This gives me, I think it's 12 to 1,300 pounds, right in that ballpark, plus a 1,500. It's about 2,700 pounds of ballast weight. You might be able to see them down there on the floor as well. I do have a pair of wheel weights that I've thought about putting on here also. I just don't think I really need the additional ballast weight. Something interesting I haven't been able to find yet is a distinction between open station tractors and cab tractors. In the 4R series, such as this one right here, there's about a 900-pound weight difference between an open station and a cab tractor such as this. That's a pretty significant difference. However, it seems the ballast weight requirements remain the same. So one of my personal favorite choices for ballast weight is going to be a ballast box. And the reason is it's one of the cheapest solutions out there. So call me a cheapskate. I'm using liquid ballast for the tires and a ballast box for the 3-point hitch. But you know what? Sometimes you just want that weight. You don't want to pay a lot for it. And these are the two best solutions that I've found. So ballast box makes the list for me as one of the cheapest solutions. Again, it's a nice compact solution. It does tie up your 3-point hitch, so that's a downside. And you know what? It is not the easiest thing to move around. So if I need to take it off, typically I'm gonna put it on a pallet. I'll still need to have something else on my tractor as a little bit of counterweight here typically to be able to pick up that pallet with the 800 pounds on it and move it somewhere else. But it's still a lot easier than trying to find a different solution. A ballast box is a practical choice for a few reasons. Number one, it's pretty reasonable as far as price goes compared to some of the other ballast solutions out there. You can also fill it up with different types of materials. So you don't have to use concrete in here. You could use sand or you could use stone, and you can take that stuff back out if you want to make it light for transport or a different situation that might come up. Also, it's pretty rugged really. It's just a big hunk of steel. There's not much going on with it. Say you're using a tiller as your counterweight and you back up, you just don't notice the tree that's there. It just comes out of nowhere and gets you. You damage your tiller. That's going to be a big deal compared to just backing up and hitting a tree with your ballast box. Probably not a whole lot of damage is going to occur. At least it greatly lowers that likelihood. Previously, I didn't really have a good solution for ballast boxes. So I've now been carrying the Titan ballast box, believe it or not. Really love it. I think it gives you the best bang for the buck out there. It's multi-purpose, and I love things that are multi-purpose. So with this ballast box here, not only do you get something that acts as that weight, that counterweight that you need, that's the primary function, right? But it's also going to give you some options for some tool storage. It's got a couple built-in tubes that are welded in place here, so you can put a shovel or a rake or whatever the heck it is that you want to bring along with you out into the field. Additionally, it's going to have a 2-inch receiver built into the bottom of it. That way you can hook up something else, a trailer or a log splitter or whatever else you might want to hook on to that ball hitch. And lastly, it's going to come with a trap door as well. So if you choose to use something different than concrete, let's say you're using stone or sand for instance, you can lift up that trap door, empty it out, and make it lightweight and more portable if needed. This ballast weight option is staring you right in the face right now, but you can't even see it. The invisible ballast, liquid ballast, that's what we've got going on in here. And between the two rear tires of liquid ballast alone, there's 1,500 pounds. I'm using round numbers. I think it's a little over 1,500, like 1,512 or something like that. This is a John Deere 4R series tractor, a 4066R. So it's pretty good sized tires as far as the compact tractor goes. One of the great benefits about liquid ballast is that it's there all the time. It's not in the way of anything else. It's just there when you need it and doing a great job at it as well. And it's also pretty cheap as well. So it's really practical and economical as far as a straight ballast solution. So the downsides to it though, you can't easily remove it, and if you do, you can't easily put it back in. It's a bit of a process. If you somehow poke a big hole in here, you're gonna drain it all out, and then it's gonna get kind of expensive because you have to fill it all back up again. But some of you might have soil conditions as well where it's not conducive to have all this extra weight on the back of your tractor all the time. Hey, keep in mind that on some of these solutions for ballast weight, I'm going to be able to put links below in the description or in the comment section as well, where you can go through that link and purchase that item, have it shipped right to your house. Just know if you choose to do that, that it's likely I will get a commission on the sale, and I want to say thank you ahead of time. So these guys right here, Suitcase Weights. I did a whole video on Suitcase Weights a couple of months ago. I'll post a link so you can check it out. Very common solution for ballast weight. So these 42-pound suitcase weights are a very popular option. You can also get them in larger sizes as well. You know, they're a very compact solution, very straightforward. It's easy to put them on, easy to take them off. They store very well also. So the cons about suitcase weights are the fact that they're not exactly the cheapest ballast solution on the market, and they're also going to typically be placed on your 3-point hitch, and so it's going to tie up and prevent your 3-point hitch from being used for another attachment. If you want to use suitcase weights, then traditionally you're going to need to get a weight bracket. One of the great solutions for that is going to be Heavy Hitch. And if you go to heavyhitch.com, you can enter code GWT and you'll get 5% off your order. So if you go there, you can get both your weight bracket and your suitcase weights. You can get other attachments and accessories for your tractor as well. But again, code GWT to get 5% off. So these yellow weights here are called wheel weights, and these are going to go right in the wheels, the rear wheels of your tractor. Some of them, they can go on the inside, some on the outside. They can also be stacked, meaning you can put multiple sets of these wheel weights on. They're a very nice option for a couple of reasons. Number one, they're compact. They're not going to take up a lot of space. They're also not going on your 3-point hitch, and so you're not using up that 3-point hitch connection there and tying it up and preventing it from being used for another attachment. The downside to wheel weights is that they are a very pricey solution. So these weights here weigh about 100 pounds or so each. However, I can get almost 1,500 pounds of ballast weight, liquid ballast, in my tires for just about the same price, if not too much more, than what these two wheel weights cost right here. Keep that in mind. You know, so as far as practical solutions go, an attachment on the back of your tractor is probably one of the most practical solutions you can get to get you towards achieving that minimum ballast requirement. It's highly unlikely that any attachment by itself is going to achieve that minimum ballast weight. However, it's a multi-purpose tool then, right? It's not just a bunch of dead weight that's sitting there doing nothing for you, but you can use it as that counterweight and also get some production out of it in the future as well. That could be something such as a tiller or a brush hog, a box blade, a backhoe, hey, even a big tool rack. Again, something like this, a big tool rack, great solution for your garage, great solution for the field. All sorts of storage all the way around this sucker here. Again, you can put 6 suitcase weights right down here. It's quick hitch compatible, has a 2-inch receiver on the bottom as well. You can sit right on the tailgate there. It holds up to 250 pounds. You can put 600 pounds in this thing. That's like, I don't know, like 15 of Rosie, something like that. Did I mention you get 5% off if you go to Big Tool Rack and enter code GWT? 5% off anything on their website. Maybe the coolest way to get yourself some extra ballast weight is to go ahead and get yourself a set of Dooleys, just like this guy right here on this 1025R. This is a novel concept, however, it is practical as well. You are also going to gain additional ballast weight and even lateral, side-to-side stability. As far as ballast goes, the extra tires and wheels are each going to add about 42 pounds, so you have about 84 pounds. I also have all 4 of these tires filled up with liquid ballast, TL90. That's adding an additional 135 pounds per tire, so times that by 4. So if you're looking for something unique, a set of duals might do the trick for you. Also give you that lateral side-to-side stability there and some additional counterweight. One item here that can add some additional ballast weight and also make perhaps attaching and detaching from your main source of ballast weight just a little bit easier is a quick hitch. So something like this is going to weigh over 70 pounds, obviously be located off the 3-point hitch. This is something that would stay on your tractor all the time, and again, it would help with attaching and detaching from not only your other main ballast weight option that you have on your 3-point, but also any other attachments that you have on the back. So a nice semi-permanent solution. You can take it off with ease if you need to. It connects and disconnects just like any other 3-point attachment would do. Really handy with something like a ballast box, or if you have a heavy hitch suitcase weight bracket on here, something like that. Or even a big tool rack would also be a perfect solution with a quick hitch. You know, so really it doesn't matter how you slice it. You gotta have your ballast weight. Check your manual. It's amazing how much ballast weight you actually need just to hit that minimum threshold there. You can accomplish it many different ways, most likely a combination of ways. But make sure you have it. It's a safety issue. It's something my customers are gonna have to have from here on out. It's just too big of a deal not to have that plan in place. Whenever possible, carry that load low. Just get it off the ground just enough to keep it from scraping. Don't carry it up high and drive around. You're just asking for trouble tipping over that way. Also, don't go sideways on a hill if at all possible. Go up and down whenever you're able to do so. Those couple tips right there are gonna go a long ways, coupled with the proper ballast weight to keeping you safe. So customers of Good Works Tractors, from here on out, you gotta have a plan in place to have adequate ballast weight. So I'll help you accomplish it from liquid ballast to a ballast box to an attachment, whatever it might be. We'll get that plan in place for you, but you need to have it. It's just too important not to. So do me a favor, hit that subscribe button below, head on over to Facebook, click like, Instagram, click follow there. We'll see you in the next one. Take care. Stay there. You stay. You stay. Stay. You stay.